Actually, yesterday was before it was
He's lived
that guy? Who's Aaron? I don't know. It's not the same one. That's crazy.
We'll have Coach make his opening statement. Ready for questions?
Okay, obviously, really proud of the guys from last week. Just from a standpoint of they were very locked in during the week of practice. Great preparation. Saw some younger guys take some strides and steps in the right direction, and felt like there were a number of guys that earned their way on the field. And we talked about that. We said, you have to earn your way on the field. It's not just given to you if we happen to get up in a game. You have to earn the right to go out there and represent our defense. And we had a number of guys that did that. We were able to play 38 players on the defensive side of the ball, which I don't think I've ever done before. And impressive, that as we got into down our depth chart, that we still were able to execute with relative consistency outside of, really the first third down of the game that we get them to a 3rd and 15 and they convert a first down, which is truly unacceptable. But outside of that, I thought our guys did a really nice job in that situation. So looking ahead here, obviously another great rivalry game, another great SEC game, and one that we look forward to playing in. This is always a fun time of year. The guys are out of school right now, and so they get a little bit of extra sleep. They get a little bit of extra time to focus on the game they love, and so we enjoy having them around the building a little bit more throughout the day as well, and getting them ready for some things. So we feel like we're in a really good place in terms of our preparation. We took some time to prepare a little bit in advance, obviously, for Auburn as well, and so should be a really good matchup. A lot of great connections on that staff, as you guys know. My brother-in-law's there as a strength coach, and I think the world of Derek Nix, and glad that he's getting an opportunity to call it. I know he's waited a long time to do that. I've known him since I was probably 7, 8 years old. Got great family ties. My sister actually was a surrogate for him and his wife, and carried their daughter Ava, and so just really happy for Derek, and he's doing a great job. I mean, you can tell a noticeable difference in some of the things they're doing from an execution standpoint. I think they're playing within the framework of what their players can do. They're getting the ball to their playmakers, and they're creating some explosive plays both in the run and pass game. So be a great challenge for us as always, but certainly we are very much looking forward to the game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Let's start with the far left, Chase.
We saw a little bit of Quay Russaw for the first time in a while against EIU. Just give us any kind of an idea how close he is to 100% and how he's looked in practice.
Yeah, I think Quay's really taking steps in the right direction. I mean, it was great to get him out there on the field. He has pushed himself in practice, and it's paying off. And so he's just getting better and better day in and day out. We feel like, the steps that he took last week got him in position to go play. And then we just feel like that we can continue to add to his pitch count, as we go here in the season. So I feel like he's in a really good spot. Quay is a very physical presence. You think about some of the physicality that it's going to take for us to be successful on Saturday, and he's certainly a piece of the equation.
We've got 2 questions on the right. We'll start with Charlotte.
Just with Auburn's quarterbacks, what have you seen from Ashton Daniels, and how rare is it to kind of have film on all 3 quarterbacks going into a game like this?
Yeah, I think Ashton has done a really nice job again. I think they've come up with a game plan that he can operate very efficiently in. I thought he did a really good job against Vanderbilt, taking care of the football, putting the ball in the right direction, working through his progression properly, and then certainly he does things from the run game, that cause challenges and issues for you. And really every quarterback does. I wouldn't say that they are drastically different no matter what quarterback comes in the game plan, and so sometimes you get a throwing quarterback or a runner or vice versa, whatever. They're relatively similar in what they're doing, and so we will anticipate the potential that we might see 2 or maybe 3 of them, but certainly from our standpoint, I don't think it's really going to change how we see them and how we view them from a game plan standpoint.
Yeah, that was going to be my question if you anticipated multiple. So I'll just ask you what the challenges are of maybe game planning and watching extra film of several quarterbacks.
Well, you certainly want to identify each of them, and are there things that one of them does that the other one does not? And there's certainly elements to, I thought Deuce had a really good game the other day. There's things maybe in the passing game that a young quarterback, they're not going to go maybe as farther down in some of the schematics that they're doing there. But at the same time, I mean, he did a really nice job of pulling the ball down. I mean, he ran all over the field there. When he got out in open field, he was able to, create the big explosive play. And I think rushed for 4 touchdowns, something like that. But for us, I mean, when you look at it structurally, I think they're doing the same thing. I think they have an identity of what they do and how they do it, and I don't think that changes with one quarterback to the next. But you certainly want to be mindful of what each quarterback does well, and like anything, you try to identify those things, and then you try to make a play left-handed, or in Ashton's case, right-handed, so.
Go to Joe in the middle of the room here.
Coach, what do you see in the receiver combo of Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman? How do you think that their skills kind of complement one another and make it challenging for your secondary and just off the wall? What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Yeah, I think Derek's doing a good job of getting those guys the ball. You notice an effort to get them the ball specifically in terms of their game plan and just in terms of their targets. And those guys are playmakers. I mean, they do a really nice job when the ball's in the air. They do a nice job in one-on-ones. They find creative ways to get them out in space. Formationally, they're doing some things right now to create a little bit more space in the passing game and get easy access throws and then let those guys go to work. And so both those guys present challenges. They're different receivers, and yet at the same time, when they have the ball in their hands, they're both very explosive and can create yards after catch. And so that's something that we've got to do a great job of mixing it up enough. And then, like all SEC games, right, this it's a physicality war. It's limiting explosives and certainly limiting yards after contact, which is going to be critical for both those guys.
Go to front left, Colin.
Hey, Kane, kind of off topic, but during Iron Bowl week, obviously, saw that, your name had been linked to the Arkansas job, a couple of finalists. I'm wondering what hearing your name associated with that is like for you and your family, especially at a time as busy as this.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the question, but, I'm just not going to address any, job opportunity stuff.
Go to Emily Grace, middle of the room.
Coach, we heard from Bray in postgame how you challenged the team not to have them cross the 50. So I'm curious what you're challenging the team with this week as they enter the Iron Bowl.
With who?
Just the defense, what you're challenging them with this week.
Yeah, I think for us, this is a physical game, right? The SEC is physical. The Iron Bowl has always been a physical football game. They're going to do some things to establish the run game. I think they've got a really good running back. I think, all of their quarterbacks can run the ball, and so we've got to do a really good job just from a physicality standpoint up front, getting off of blocks when they're trying to create a 1+ offensive system, and then they get RPOs off of it. So they're going to stretch you enough to where you can't just load the box every single play. And so some guys got to get off of blocks and make plays. So that's one of the things that, that we have to do. I think for us, when the confidence of going on the road, knowing that you can execute at a high level, our guys are playing at a high level right now. And, it's our job to keep them in that sweet spot right now. And their jobs, in terms of the leadership of the defense, I think it's been fantastic. It's been phenomenal. But good defenses, good football teams, good players just find ways to keep getting better throughout the week. And those are the things that we're trying to keep them focused on. So nothing flashy, just good old hard-nosed football.
Finish with Katie, second row on the left.
You said that guys had to prove that they could earn their way onto the field to play this past week, but what did a game like Saturday kind of show you help you evaluate what you have for the future, whether it's the remaining games this season or maybe upcoming seasons?
Well, I think we've done a nice job of building depth throughout the season in our defense. And I think when you look at it nowadays, like you're going to have players that are operating in critical moments in the game that you likely didn't need or didn't put on the field at the beginning of the season. And so, just you think about even a guy like Yanze Pierre. Yanze's been playing for us, but he's just continually gotten better. And then when we had injuries, he stepped up into a role that he's operating at a really, really high level. But there's a number of guys that you can point towards in our secondary and our linebacking core, and certainly up front in the defensive line. I think Freddie's done a really nice job in terms of the development of some of our young defensive linemen that are playing a lot more consistent than where they were at the beginning of the season. And so those are things that when you think about potentially playing more games than we've ever played in the history of Alabama football this season, hopefully, right, you're going to need, that depth, and it's going to show up here on the back half of the season. And to this point, that has been the case, and I would anticipate it being the case moving forward.
All right,
So,
thank you.
okay, thanks, guys. Roll Tide.
I'm at a mountain. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Great.
Go ahead and start with Charlie here on the right.
Yeah, Coach, no Cuevas on Saturday. What did you see from the other tight ends that were able to get in the game?
I thought Jay Lindsey showed up, had a little bit of physicality in the run game. Caleb got kind of extended into some roles and some spots that he hadn't normally been when Josh was around. So that was great to see him try to navigate that a little bit. Had a nice catch on the sideline there from Key. And really it was kind of focusing on those two guys and see what their ability was going to be in the game.
Staying on the right side, we'll go to Nick.
How is the sideline, and do you expect to be back there?
It was great. And that was something I've been thinking about, honestly, since the beginning of the year. And the last few weeks, it's kind of been adding up on me a little bit. And I just felt like I could make a difference, honestly. Some of it was for me, selfishly, to make sure that my communication with the coaches and players is where I want it to be. So I feel good about the plays that I'm calling in the next series. But even just being down there with Ty and Keelan and Austin was great. Obviously, think the world of Nick and trust him. He does a just fantastic job with those guys on the sideline. But for me, just being right there in the thick of it and being able to make the adjustments I want to make felt really good. So it was great being down there.
Go to Chase on the far left side.
Yeah, wanted to ask you about Ty Simpson's play this past Saturday. Had a couple balls. I'm sure he wanted back. What did you think about his performance, and how did he come away from it thinking?
Yeah, I think he had one that he wanted back. Obviously the interception at the end of the half shows the kind of player Ty is. He's selfless. Ask him to put the ball up in a 50-50 situation. A guy that's worried about stats wouldn't have done that for the team. So don't worry about that one. The layered ball and the two throw, he just needed just a little bit more air on, honestly. He just underestimated how deep that guy was, and Ty makes that throw as good as anybody in the country. So certainly knows, he could either wait it to the next window or layer that. But I thought he had good command early in the series, had a good couple run checks, had box counts where we needed it to be. So I was happy with where he's at, and he did a great job, honestly, supporting Austin and Keelan after he was out.
I should have been more clear. I wasn't talking about that.
Okay. I was just make sure. I want to give a shout to my guy, make sure everybody knew.
He threw a ball with about a minute left
Yep.
in the first half over the middle that almost got it.
Yeah, he had one to Lottie in the middle. That's correct. He had a sideline throw available there to Ryan that he could have made. A little bit of miscommunication between him and Lots here. So he definitely didn't want to force that one on the inside. You're correct.
Go to Katie, second row on the left.
Back during Tennessee week, you said you were still kind of learning about the rivalries and things around here. So what have you learned now heading into Auburn this week?
Iron Bowl's everything. You got to win. And there's, end of the season, rivalry week, you're just thankful to be at a place that has something that means so much to the state and, to the program. So certainly with our players and the people around the program, nobody's taking it for granted. And just excited to be part of it, and get in the thick of it with the guys. So they know what it's all about.
Jump over to Colin.
Back to the sideline kind of question. When was the last time that you were on a sideline regularly, and kind of what did that conversation look like preseason to be like, I want to be in the booth compared to?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. I did a few times at Fresno. Some of it has to do with, comfort level with two parts. Number one, the people that you have in the box as far as your eyes in the sky, and then also where you're at with the guys on the sideline. And so I tend to focus more on the positive part, meaning the guys that are in the box for us. Tyler Hughes and Mitch Dowling are as good as it gets. Those guys both have been in our system and with me for a number of years. So whatever information I need to collect that I don't think I have a good enough vantage point on, I know I'm going to get accurate information from those guys. So I had a lot of confidence with that, and I felt like just, again, the collaboration on the field, the in-game adjustments can happen quicker for me and the rest of the guys.
Go to Emily Grace, right in the middle of the room there.
Coach, after having a chance to watch the film from Saturday, what are you wanting to build on this week in practice, and what are some focal points for the team as they face Auburn's defense on Saturday?
Well, obviously, we're happy to be able to put the ball in the end zone, running the football. The guys did a good job with that even late in the game. And I know, level of opponent and all those things. But, I've been in those games where you're playing games like that and you really struggle to even, get consistent 4 and 5 yard hits. So I thought the guys did a great job. I think Kalen said we played 80 some guys, and so to be able to operate at the end where we had some clean run hits at the end of the game were awesome. And then moving forward again, I think Auburn's a great defense, and our opportunity to continue to build on eliminating negative yardage runs, which we got 2 weeks in a row with none right now. And that's, something from the communication standpoint we want to continue to build on. And, we didn't really put the ball down the field as much this last week as we normally do. So making sure we can balance that out between the play action game and the run game.
All right, last question will be from Joe.
Coach, Eastern Illinois had given up 200-plus rushing yards to 4 other opponents. On Saturday, y'all became the 5th. What did you see out of your running game? How do you feel about it moving forward? And off the wall, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Wow. Okay. First one, I would say, again, it really does come down to communication. I know that's a really boring response, but our ability to identify the right people and have the double teams headed to the right people is where it all starts. And, you don't want to set the bar so low that it's like, hey, we're not getting negative yardage runs. You want explosive runs as well, but those don't happen until you can, make sure you get the box set the way you want it. And, for us, that's where it all begins. And then I think we can continue to build off of that, what the guys have done the last couple of weeks. And it's probably not a side dish, but I like pecan pie.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
We'll have Coach make his opening statement. Any questions?
Yeah, you bet. Good morning. I know you heard from the coordinators and just again, kind of recapping, I think, everything that they probably hit on or you asked. Just to get a good weekend and one last shout out to our seniors, being able to honor them, recognize them. They mean a lot to this program. They mean a lot to me. And, for them to be able to do their job, to be able to get a lot of other guys on the football field was something that, we got a chance to highlight even in the locker room and guys had fun with afterwards, talking about, some of the plays that were made by guys that haven't seen the field yet or, very minimal opportunity. So good to see Quay Rusaw get on the football field a little bit. That was something that we've been working towards, and just really, really happy for him, happy for us there. So on to the Iron Bowl, and know what that means to the state here. A huge deal for us as well. Just, it's a big game. It's for a lot of reasons, but we just focus on what it is, and it's a big rivalry game. It's an SEC game on the road. It'd be an awesome environment. Just blessed to be a part of it. Especially here on this Thanksgiving week, that's what you think about. And there's so much we have, and these guys getting this opportunity to go and to play in a special place like that, and in front of so many fans and people watching on TV. Just a really cool moment. We got to seize it and take advantage of it.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with Dave from Pride.
Yeah, people love to talk about the difficulties of going to Jordan-Hare and playing in what some might say is haunted. What is kind of your message to the players about the discourse around going to Auburn and playing there?
Yeah, rivalry game, amazing environment. We've played in amazing environments, throughout the year on the road at night. I get it. I mean, you never want to, we understand it's going to be a great experience there, and it'll be, one where we're facing a team that, wants to knock us off of our goals and our hopes and all of that. So, but you just really got to simplify it down, and you got to prepare for the noise, prepare for the emotions that come, and that's what our season has done for us. We've been through a lot of that, and again, there'll be new challenges that present themselves in the game, and a lot of it will be, again, new matchup, guys that have different people in front of them, strengths and weaknesses of the opponent, every single week changing. So we're just going to prepare our best, focus on what we do, because that's what we've done all season long, to go out there and be our best on Saturday.
Chase, far left.
Auburn's got one of the better defensive fronts in the league. What do you see from those guys athletically and the challenge they present for the OL?
Yeah, yes, they do. They got a great combination of size, athleticism up front. They understand their defensive scheme well. They attack. I think you can see there's a lot of trust. Then you get to the linebackers, and they can run really well. They attack as well, and so this. It's a team defense. Coach Durkin's done a great job, not just leading the team now, but, over the past couple of years, putting together a defensive scheme, and a mindset that they have. So a lot of respect to what they do, that's for sure.
Let's go to Charlie.
Kind of a two-parter. Do you have an update on Josh Cuevas? And with him being out, how good was it to get a bunch of tight ends opportunities on Saturday?
Yeah, with Josh, we'll just keep evaluating him here throughout this week. And that was certainly intentional with getting some guys some action out there. Even some of the way just I think Coach Grubb called the game. Just making sure that we got some reps, whether it be run game, pass game. There was, you got to attack the defense you're seeing, but I thought we did a good job of getting those guys in spots and testing them. And a lot of it's been building up over the course of the year too, right? You've seen Caleb out there all season long, so it's a combination of guys that you're really focused on as much as anything. And I thought Marshall did a nice job, Brody did a nice job, Jay did a nice job as well in their roles, and just getting them more snaps. We get better with reps. It doesn't matter who we are, and that's what we're trying to do for those guys.
Jump to Katie, second row on the left.
I know it's a relatively small sample size, but has there been a difference that you've seen on film in Auburn since DJ Durkin took over?
I think probably offensively, maybe just you can see maybe a little bit of philosophical change, just a little bit there with the offense and what they're trying to do. So maybe that as much as anything. So obviously they seem to be playing free and putting up a lot of points, in the last 2 weeks.
Go to Colin, front left.
Kind of back to Charlie's question, but what have you seen from Caleb Edwards? And then especially he's, one of a handful of freshmen that are going to get, expected to take pretty significant snaps in a big game. Like, what's kind of your advice to whether it's Caleb, whether it's Deshaun Lee, guys that are kind of experiencing this rivalry for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, there's been, again, so many snaps that these guys played. I mean, from Dijon's, Dijon, Latsier, we can go down the road, Michael Carroll, and I think that's what you're getting to here with the question is we've done that all year long. And, really, Caleb, I can think of the big catch in a moment for me. He caught a crossing route against Georgia in a tight window there. And number one, Ty's trusting him. And then, Caleb going across really fearless. And Caleb was a guy that didn't come to us till really this summer. Most of our guys are early enrolled. And so seeing him be able to get on the field early in the year and do what he's doing, again, every rep matters to him because these guys that have been here all year, going back to January, they understood our culture. They were part of our weight program, and I'm just really proud of these guys. And again, not just now, but sheds light on what we feel about the future is going to be, whether it's your quarterbacks that got a chance to get out on the football field and do their thing, Our offensive lineman, Jackson Lloyd got out there, the other day as well. And so just really excited about the future. But obviously we're in the moment, we're in the present, and, those guys are going to be ready to play. They've made a ton of plays all season long, and we're confident. We wouldn't put them out there if we weren't.
Question from Joe in the middle of the room.
Coach, what did you see from the running game this past Saturday, particularly sticking with the freshman, with AK Deer, and what does he maybe need to do to maybe see an increased role throughout the rest of the year and off the wall? What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Yeah, I'm pretty traditional when it comes to the Thanksgiving piece, going way back. So your normal stuff, Thanksgiving, when you think of it, that's what I'm all about. But yeah, I think you mentioned AK, just when he gets out there, you can see the things he can do explosive-wise, ball in his hands, and again, more reps. And I thought Saturday was a great opportunity for him. It's how he took advantage of it. Another freshman that has a great future for us in our program.
All right, let's finish up with Matthew.
Coach, after the game on Saturday, I know you told us that players have had Connor Talty's back after the last couple of misses. How have you seen them react over the course of the last few weeks when he's missed a field goal?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was probably just everyone in general. You're always, you're human, right? And so people are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And then, it's the response and the things that he did. Well, he made it right with his teammates. He talked to them, and that's what we can do. We move on, and we right the wrongs, and now we just focus on what we can do, and that's go be your best. And that's what he does in practice. And again, when I say our guy's got his back, I've seen players, myself have reaction to things that you don't like on the field, off the field, whatever it might be, things we, want back. And once it's done, you don't. All you can do is make sure you communicate, talk to the people that it affected, and continue to move on. And so he had a great week of practice last week. He's still really hitting the ball well, and just going to keep working. And, we're going to need him throughout the rest of the year. And I know he's going to give everything. He cares about this team a lot.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.